I think it's fair to say that many more people now realise that they need to spend much more time outdoors, either with family or friends, or indeed alone. And that an e-bike can be the perfect way to do this. Because let's face it, it's easier. And of course, it's now much more acceptable.
So will 2021 be the year that riders just get out there and buy an e-bike without thinking about the excuses of why they're riding an e-mountain bike? Hopefully that debate is going to be over.
But I guess the question is, what will we be discussing? Will it be lightweight parts that are on the agenda, or maybe more durable ones? And what about the friends that we ride with? Will we be supporting our friends on non-e-mountain bikes in the woods, rather than maybe taking the mickey out of the lone e-mountain biker, which has been the scene in many woods around the world up until now? But one thing is probably going to be quite likely, and that is more people are going to be fighting over e-bikes, which might actually be in short supply. Okay, time now then to have a look at maybe some of the key discussion points that are going to be taking place in 2021 revolving around e-mountain bikes. Starting off, Chris, with price range, right?
Yeah, I think riding off-road doesn't come cheap, whether we're talking e-mountain bikes or mountain bikes, does it? And I think as the sport of e-mountain biking progresses, we're seeing those levels of the pricing come down in the e-bikes. And I think it's something that we're going to see coming from a lot of those bigger manufacturers a bit more in 2021, hopefully.
Yeah, I think certainly from many of the brands, making less expensive e-bikes is definitely on their agenda in the future. But that doesn't mean to say that there are not less expensive e-bikes at the moment, because we've seen brands such as Decathlon or Voodoo supplying bikes which are, sub £2,000. But certainly a key thing for 2021 is those less expensive e-mountain bikes. But still, you can always dig deeper into your pocket, and there are those high-end, high-cost e-bikes still for you to choose from. I think one thing's for sure, and that is there's a massive buzz around e-bikes at the moment, whether it be beginners or amateurs or professionals alike. And the great thing is, I see people around about now of all ages and abilities mixing that ride together.
Definitely. I think we're seeing everyone, literally all types of riders on e-bikes, as you mentioned, from old to young, to unfit, to fit riders, pro riders, to beginner riders. It's all getting mixed up. And I think the great thing about it now is that everyone is a little bit more clued up on what e-biking is all about. We're not getting this cheat stuff getting shouted at us all the time. Actually, people know how e-bikes work, and I think that education is paying off big time.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, e-bikes are very much the new normal when it comes to mountain biking. Chris, I've got to say that I'm continually pinching myself simply on the amount of e-mountain bikes on the market at the minute, because it was only 5 or 6 years ago that it was actually very difficult just simply to get an e-mountain bike because they didn't exist. So we've actually got a new scenario. Now we're struggling to get the e-mountain bikes because so many people are buying them and they're in short supply. And like I said, only 5 or 6 years ago, there was very little e-mountain bikes on the market. And for some brands, I think the e-bikes actually now outnumber the non-assist bikes in their range, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's crazy the amount of different styles of e-bikes now. We've got cross-country bikes, trail bikes, enduro bikes, downhill bikes. You've literally got an e-bike for every style of discipline out there, haven't we? And of course, we've got the newer lightweight e-bikes coming into the mix, which is definitely going to stir things up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think more than anything, we've got a headache ahead of ourselves just trying to choose what style e-mountain bike to get. Like you mentioned, I think for many brands, they seem to be going into lightweight, low torque bikes versus higher power, heavier weight bikes. So there's definitely a split in the market there. But Chris, what about all the other things you're going to think about? Things such as battery choice, battery capacity, your motor, you know, the amount of travel, because like you said, there's all those different categories: cross country, marathon, downhill, you name it. It's a huge headache for people buying their first e-bike, right?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's what keeps it all exciting. It's not just the standard mountain bike. You've got all these different things coming into it, adding into the mix, making it a bit more, I don't know, a bit more spicy, adding, as I say, creating a bit more buzz about it rather than just a standard mountain biking.
Chris, do you know what? We've actually not discussed this very much, but you know, last year we saw the likes of the Specialized Levo SL, which was a 17 kilo bike, 35 Newton meters of torque. Plus you had the bikes such as the Orbea Rise, which was around about 18 kilos with a 60 Newton meter e-pit RS motor in there. What's your feelings? Do you prefer the lightweight, lower power or the heavyweight, higher power? And do you have these conversations with your friends? Because I certainly do.
Yeah, definitely. I think the lower power, lighter weight bike is something that when I first rode it, I wasn't that impressed with. I put my hands up, but the more time I've actually spent on it now, just riding, I think solely by myself, if you use it like as a cross-country bike, I think it is a really useful tool. And I've actually been pushing it a bit at the bike parks on it as well. And I do like that lightweight flickability at the lower speeds. It isn't maybe as stable or as kind of steamroller-ish, if you want to say, through like tech sections, but I do like the lighter weight, I think.
Yeah, well, we've actually got a video coming up on the channel in the next few weeks, which is based on the lightweight Specialized Levo SL compared to the heavier weight, heavier hitting 180mm travel Canevo. But Chris, it's a difficult question, isn't it, really? And I think when you ride any e-mountain bike, a good position to come from is from where the motor is off. And you switch that SL or that Orbea Rise on, and even though it's a lower powered e-bike, it's actually so much more capable than a non-assist bike, right?
Oh,
I think you just need to go and...
Yeah. I think the thing with those bikes, I think you just got if you've come from e-mountain biking and you're going to that mid, you know, the lower powered bike, I think you just got to accept that things are going to be harder and a little bit slower, but no way as bad as a standard mountain bike.
As bad. I think, you know, speaking to many brands, they think that the lower powered bikes are the ones that are going to convert the naysayers into e-mountain biking. Now in 2020, we saw the first ever EWS, the Enduro World Series e-bike class, and it was a fantastic event. But I think we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that events and races are sometimes not just about the results, they're about the social side of things, riding good tracks, and many times it's about having a coffee with friends at the side of a track as much as riding them. But nevertheless, events are a fantastic place to go and ride some new terrain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think along with those events, you're going to get all those demo days out there. You get to see all the latest e-bike kit, and they're often in an amazing riding location too, like the Tour de Mont Blanc. You know, that place was pretty insane, wasn't it, Steve?
Yeah, and absolutely. So next year we've got loads of things on the agenda. We've got the Enduro World Series E-Class. We've, like you said, Chris, we've got the Freeride World Tour festivals, which are in Verbier and in several other locations in Europe. You've got the Andes Pacifico. And of course, we've got our very own Global Bike Festival taking place in Austria mid-June. So keep an eye out on the channel for details of that fantastic event out in the Alps. Now, some people often talk about the environmental side of e-mountain bikes, and I don't really think we can go too heavy on this, Chris, because let's face it, you're talking about a load of rubber and plastic and lithium. At the end of the day, they're not that environmentally friendly, but nevertheless, I think if you could replace your car with an e-mountain bike, that's certainly a good thing to do, right?
Yeah, I think if you can, you know, if you're lucky enough to have 2 cars in your household, it is definitely viable to replace one of those cars for commuting and popping down the shops and things like that. Not only are you going to be doing great things for the environment, you can be saving a load of cash, making yourself fitter, arriving less stressed at work. You know, I've done it myself quite a few times commuting into work on an e-bike, and it is, you know, it's an amazing tool for getting in and out of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course, moving across to such things as the fact that you can actually, one e-bike can do the things of 5 other mountain bikes. So there's an efficiency and economy there, which you need to take into account as well. I've seen you ride your 180mm travel bike to work. I've seen your ridiculous jumps on it. We've seen the Don on a recent video where he uses his Grand Canyon for commuting to work, taking the kids for a ride, and he's actually thinking about, you know, just having one vehicle in the household now rather than 2. So folks, let us know if your friends are still sitting on the fence. Let us know why you think maybe, like us, that 2021 will be the year of the e-mountain bike. Certainly here in the UK, things have changed dramatically in the past 12 months. I think the UK is now sort of getting towards the mindset of the likes of Germany and France and Italy.
Definitely, I think everywhere I've been at the minute, it's rare not to see an e-bike. You know, it's becoming the norm, I think, now out on the streets and in the woods, of course.
Absolutely. So guys, get involved in the comments down below. Don't forget to send us a like if you like this video, or a dislike if you don't. And also to hit on that button to subscribe to eMBN.